welcome to November's episode of A-MUSE Academy, where we're going to school you on the things that bring us together. Yay! We'll start today's episode, as always, with some member introductions.
Starting with me, I'm Pengi. I am the pink member of A-MUSE. I'm really sleepy today, but I'm having a nice time.
Hi everyone, my name is Aleks. I am the yellow member of A-MUSE. I don't have anything funny or witty to say this time, except I love Luvkii Kanto from Shuksukaisen. Oh, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hello everybody, my name is Kate. I'm the blue member of A-MUSE, and I like to play video games and sing.
Hi everyone, I'm Lolly, and I'm the purple member of A-MUSE. Stan Schumann EXO, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Luvkii. I stand Princess Diana. Love your work, Queen. She would have loved this podcast. Would she now?
Yeah, she could.
Let's crack on and have an awesome one, hey?
And finally, yaha, my name is Rinya. I'm the monochrome member of A-MUSE, and I would have been that annoying little furry who sat in the back of the room and drew anime eyes, like in the class, instead of doing her maths homework. But yeah, yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Well, it's me. I'm the class rep today.
Yeah.
And I'm really scared about it for some reason.
Don't be scared.
I'm
Fine.
shy. But today's theme is music. It's music class today.
Wow!
We're talking to you all
Pass,
about
pass.
music.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people here took music class in school
I think-
at
I mean,
some point?
like you have to, I mean,
You had to, like
did
as
you have a compulsory music class?
I went to public school.
I also went to public
Even in
school.
primary schools.
In primary
even when I
school,
was living
yeah.
in PNG, in music class, like you would take your recorder out of like the chlorine bucket.
The glockenspiel as well.
Did you guys have the chlorine bucket experience?
No, we had our own recorders.
Okay, well in PNG we had our own recorders. But when I moved here in music, there was like a bucket full of communal recorders that they just had.
Okay, no, I know
In
this.
like chlorine or some kind of disinfectant. And you would pull it out and the
Chlorine.
smell would be horrendous. And you'd shake the chlorine slash, and then you'd blow it, like you'd blow it up.
No, but I mean like in high school.
No. As an elective,
You
no.
have to choose what
Yeah.
you would like to do.
I was a music bitch. I did music, and then as soon as I could, music extension. So, yeah.
We didn't really have a music class in high school.
You
Like
didn't
you just,
have it as a choice.
no, you took it as like a private lesson if you wanted to like pursue music, but otherwise,
You
no
didn't have
music.
classroom music.
No,
That is
not
so
in
strange
senior.
to me.
I actually didn't take classroom music, but I was involved in all of the extracurricular music and I had private lessons. But
Yeah.
a little fun fact about me and music as well is that the primary school I went to, the first one that I went to, playing an instrument was actually compulsory. So
that was it.
I played the violin from when I was 4 years old until I was like maybe 7 or 8, before I decided to switch to piano.
Interesting.
Actually, I mentioned once that I went to the same school as Rinya and Luvkii for a couple of years, and they did the same thing when I went. Like, when I went, they were doing string instruments. They made me learn the viola. And then one of the reasons why I fucking left in year 5 was because they were like, you are going to learn a band instrument and you're going to learn the trombone. And I was like, I fucking hate the trombone. And then they wanted you to come like every Wednesday at 7 a.m. for practice, and I was just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We are not paying private school money for me to follow your stupid rules. So I left.
Yeah, fair enough.
In the group that probably like when it comes to when we're composing and doing music, I don't know shit about fuck, but it always surprises people when I say, yeah, no, I did violin like very professionally in school for like when I was in grade 3 until grade, I want to say 9 or 10. But so I did it for so fucking long.
that's-
All my music information was what.
Oh, that's interesting. Because you would have been reading stuff as well. Like you would have.
No,
Just
I
kidding.
just memorized.
I mean, I played piano, and I was always really, really bad at sight reading, but I knew how to read music. It would just be like, you know, when you give a kid a storybook and they're like, that was me reading sheet music. Like I could read the notes, I just couldn't.
I just fooled my teachers for so long, being like, yes, I know what this is, and I just have, they'd be like, okay, play it in this part, play this part of the song, I'd be like, I do it in my head really quickly, like da-da-da.
As with all Chinese kids, I was forced to learn the piano. I kind of wish I kept it, but I remember memories of me sitting at the piano stool on like an afternoon and just sobbing because I didn't want to do my 30 minutes every day of piano practice, but my mum held a gun to my head and was like, do your scales. But yeah, I don't know. I can sight read.
Yeah.
I used to be able to I used to be able to sight read. I don't think I can anymore.
I'm better at sight singing somehow. I don't know, like playing, and maybe it's the whole two hands at the same time situation, but if you give me some sheet music, even if I'm not like A, E, F, like, you know, read, like I can't specifically know the names of the notes, I can kind of gather the shape of the melody, like as long as I know the first note, I can kind of like, well, that's 2 notes above that, and you know. But yeah, for some reason with piano, I just like, sight reading is not for me.
Yeah, I'm same hat about singing. Sight reading, singing is like easier for me than sight reading on piano.
I used to do piano exams. So back throughout my schooling, I did music lessons, like vocal lessons, and piano lessons too. And I used to do piano exams. And I remember my teacher was like, because as part of the exams, you either have to do separate to the pieces that you like bring in and prepare. On the spot, they give you either an oral test where they test like how good your ear is. They'll basically play a song and be like, now you have to guess what the last note's going to be, or they'll be like 2 notes at the same time, which one is higher kind of thing, or they'll do like a sight reading situation. And like the oral stuff has always come really natural to me, and so my teacher was like, this time, like, you know, for your first exam, I'm making you do sight reading because you are not good at it and we need you to get better. And I ended up passing the exam, but like the results were so bad that he was like, I'm never making you do that again. So sight reading hard.
Yeah, I used to hate having to sight read in my piano exams because I also did piano exams for a while, but I think the very last one I did quite badly on because I was in that phase of high school where I was quite rebellious and I really didn't want to do my practice, so I didn't practice enough, and my mum was like, I am not paying for this anymore if you are not going to practice, but I was able to do singing instead.
Yeah.
So it was okay.
So across the board, it seems like we've got a whole range of, I guess, music background. Luvkii, tell us about your time in the Australian Girls Choir.
When I was young and cute and small, I was one of the little girls in the Australian Girls Choir. They're kind of known for the old Qantas ads, if you remember them. I was asked to audition for the Qantas ad. I don't think I didn't make it, but they did put me on their national tours and their international tour across Europe and Singapore. So when I was like quite little, like maybe 8, I was like sent off and did like a bit of an international tour promoting the Australian Girls Choir. We went to England and France and Switzerland, and then we did a little thing across Singapore. And I remember like once every 4 months we would do a local show where all of your parents would come and watch you perform, and I went through all of the levels, and when I got to the topmost level I was kind of like, I think I'm done with this. I was kind of like aging out of it and I had other interests, so I moved away from it, and then I didn't start singing again until when I started doing A-MUSE. So I feel like there's a bit of a gap where I know what I'm talking about, but I have it from a childhood brain. My voice was a lot different when I was a kid to who I am now. So I feel like I kind of needed to like relearn everything.
Well, like it's really weird kind of being involved with music and then kind of stopping and then kind of reawakening it again, because after year 12, I basically stopped everything. Like I stopped singing, I stopped playing piano. Like I would sing in my car, but that was about the extent of it. And then starting singing again with A-MUSE, it was kind of like, whoa, you know, just kind of getting back into it. It was obviously a lot of fun and I was really excited about it, but it was like, do I remember how to do this? And I remember I completely lost my train of thought. Ignore me. Topic number 1. What made us decide to create original music?
Good question.
This is actually a really good story.
So I just wanted to. I thought it would be cool. But also, like, I guess, because in my brain, because sometimes, you know, the God complex just takes over. And you're like, wow, like, think of all the things that A-MUSE could be capable of. And in my mind's eye, when I saw, like, growth in the future, I was sort of like, look, covers will only service us to a certain point. for our growth, we would be wanting to do our own music. And I was like, you know, I just think it would be fun to make music as well. And I didn't know how feasible that would be, but at least, I mean, for me, I thought that was something that would be great for the group to do eventually.
It was honestly something that I had not considered doing. And then we were preparing for A-MUSE Fest 2020, our 5-year anniversary show, and Lolly, I think you might have mentioned it to me before others, but you pulled me aside and said, I reckon we should announce in the announcements at the end of the show that we want an original song. And I was like, yeah? And you were like, no, we can do it. And I was like, okay, let's pitch it to everyone else. And then when we did, I think it was, everyone kind of had that same kind of, yeah? Really? And then we were like, no, it's fine. So we ended up making the announcement at the start of 2020 that by the end of 2020, we would have an original song. That was it. That was all we said. And we kind of just didn't touch on it again until, like, publicly, until we ended up revealing the song. But yeah, when Lolly, you know, brought forward the concept of creating original music, at first I was like, looking at all of us being like, I like to sing with everybody, but, you know, how? Like, you know, it's been so long since, you know, me or Pengi have touched music, and, you know, it's like, where are we going to, how are we going to pull a song out of our asses?
I don't know, the way I saw it was like, if we set a deadline and we announce it publicly, then we have to meet it.
Keeping it vague.
Find a way.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been a thing, not even just for the original song, but in general, we kind of set a deadline, and then it gets to the point where it's like, we have to do it. We have to find a way to bring things together, and that's kind of how it happened for the song. So even though it was kind of scary at first, I'm ultimately really, really happy that we decided to start creating songs. It was like, it's been so much fun.
We've learned so much from it too. Like,
yeah. And you know, as of now, it's been just over a year since we debuted Reverie for the first time at Pengi's birthday live. And then, you know, shortly after that, we debuted Hoshi and Rocket, and then the singles dropped on Spotify, and now we've just released Revolt Revive as well. So, yeah, we've kept at it, and it's been really, really fun. Stream Hoshi and Rocket and Revolt Revive on Spotify and Apple Music now. Where else?
Also, not to detour a bit, but at the time of recording, we just finished the Revolt Revive concept live last week. How are we all feeling?
We, after the show, Rinya ended up coming back to my place to sleep over, and then the next day we got a big pancake brunch, and then we got like our muscles beaten up at a massage place, and I felt like a whole new person.
I desperately need to go for a massage after Revolt Revive, because like, we had so many intensive dance sessions in the lead up to it, you know, for like months we have been grinding. I recently started going to the gym in preparation because I wanted to hit those moves, like, you know, I wanted to be stronger, and like, I need to have my back pummeled too.
Because me and Luvkii were there just like walking, so we both got like a 30-minute. She got like the head, neck and shoulder massage, and I got like a, what's it called? It's like the deep tissue remedial massage. And then the dude was like, he started like feeling it out. He was like, you are really tight. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just dance. And he was like, why do you have so many knots? Anyways, at the end of it, he was like, well, half an hour is not enough, my darling. You need to come back. You need to come back and book an hour so I can work all of this out. And I was like, oh.
We should go on like a full
spa trip. I've been saying this for so long.
About doing this for ages.
I can't do massages though, because like,
you can do the hot stones.
I can, because it's not even like in a bad way, but like, I just like, whenever I get massaged, like even ever so slightly, I just can't control noises that come out of my mouth.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine. As long as we just go on a spa trip together.
No. Because I have a remedial massage therapist that I see regularly because I'm creaky and old. And like, whenever I see her, I'm there half the time, especially because I ask her to be quite firm. I'm there like,
It's not even like that. It's me, like, I'll be screaming.
No, you don't have to get a massage. I just want to go on a spa trip with all the ladies.
Facial.
Yeah.
We all have our
facial.
Here is like the big A-MUSE thing is that our whole lives is like, we should do this, we should have a girls'
should do a
drinks night.
non-A-MUSE
We should do a non-A-MUSE thing, but the schedule will be keeping us like absolutely on it.
Yeah.
One day we will go on our spa day.
One day.
Someday.
Disclosure, I actually completely forgot, since we changed the date for Revolt Revive, I actually completely forgot to take the Monday after Revolt Revive, because it was on a Sunday. I completely forgot to take the Monday off of work, and I had already had a sick day the previous week because I had a migraine. So I was like, I cannot pull a sickie. So I decided that we die like men and took an energy drink into work.
Braver than any US Marine.
And I got through it and I was fine, and I worked a full week this week. Yesterday was my first rest day.
It's crazy,
Revolt
dude.
Revive.
Revolt Revive was a bit cooked for me. The lead up, when we rescheduled, I didn't realize it was going to be in the last week of my university year. So for my degree, all of my exams and assignments were literally on the week of the live, and so having the live and then all my finals coming up, and then as soon as we finished everything the next day, I was at home in bed and I was like, what is this free time? I suddenly I don't have anything to do. I don't have any obligations, and it felt really wrong and gross. I felt really guilty, just having nothing. But I was like, wait, no, I literally don't have anything. But yes, no, I want to go back to Revolt Revive.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was, I guess, kind of a release event. The initial plan was to keep the song hidden and debut it without a word at the live, but the show got moved from August to October due to COVID cancellations. We're impatient. We wanted to share the song. We'd worked really hard on it, and it was a bit more of an experimental sound, so we wanted to share it, so we did. And it was actually really cool because, Haku made up some calls to the song. Shout out to Haku. So by the time we were performing it, people had calls that they were screaming at us.
It was loud.
It was so loud.
Could barely hear the music.
It was everything that we could have dreamed about. It was such a fun event. The energy in that room, I'm sure you all agree, was
next level, insane.
Yeah.
It was that we kind of had a little teaser of Revolt Revive on our TIFF entry.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there was just the smallest little snippet of the dance as well, and we were like, no, they're gonna see just that little bit. It won't be as fresh as we want it to, but even with that, everyone's energy was absolutely palpable in that room when we performed it.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of your energy for those who were able to attend. It was very much fun. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, like we said earlier, Revolt Revive was kind of a more experimental sound. Let's talk a little bit about that, about how Revolt Revive differs to our first two singles, Hoshi and Reverie.
I think we listened to Tokyo Rat sitting next door, both by Cyber, and we were like, we want that sound.
Yeah.
We just wanted something a bit edgier. At the time, we were looking for something. I think our next song, we wanted it to be about kind of a message of stay in your own lane, work on yourself, just stay true to yourself and
Don't worry about anyone.
don't worry about anyone else, and you'll persevere. And we thought that the best sound for that would be something a little edgier, a little bit harder.
We wanted something that would really go off in a kind
club
of
setting.
club space, because the concept for Revolt Revive, the live, the event, actually came before the idea for the song. So we really wanted to create something that would just really fit into that space. And that obviously turned out to be quite different than our previous two songs.
Very different, but also I like the contrast between the two of them.
Yeah, I love it. It's excellent.
I also wanted to touch on how, I mentioned earlier that releasing original music was not something that I ever would have seen us doing. And all of us have come from a very specifically, we are a cover group background. So I want to hear about how everybody felt about throwing yourselves in the deep end with releasing, music that was ours rather than just covers.
Starting with me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, when Lolly came to us as like, let's write original music, it wasn't a feeling of surprise. It was like, I was very like, not necessarily nervous about it in the sense that, oh, it's going to fail, but nervous because it was something new. But I can't say I was surprised at Lolly bringing that idea forward. I think somehow deep down, I always knew that it would take this path. As for actually creating music, I was just like, well, we've done covers, we know how to dance and we know how to sing when there's already a song there. That's all easy enough to learn for yourself. But to actually create original music out of nowhere, like how do we do producers? How do we record? What do we record with? Like, what do we want our lyrics to be about? Do the lyrics need to be translated? Do we need to pay someone for translation? All these kinds of things kind of like swirling in my head, and all of our heads really. And but yeah, I think I knew even then that we would persevere and we would shit something out. We would get something out.
Yeah.
I think from my perspective, this may be a lesser known fact, but we have these kind of semi-regular meetings about where we kind of reset and we say what goals do we want to achieve for the future. And I think it's kind of a commonly thought of goal that we want to be like a self-sustaining professional group. And I think having an original song is kind of the gateway drug to a non-idol kind of scene, especially in a place like Brisbane, where if you have original music, venues do take extra look at what you're able to produce, and it does open a lot of doors for opportunity. So it wasn't, I'm kind of in the same way Rinya, where it's not a big surprise that we ended up here, and I wasn't nervous about it at all because
we're sexy.
we're very sexy, and I also know that we're all very competent people, especially with Lolly and Kate spearheading it. I wasn't worried at all about how it would turn out. And
I was nervous. Yeah, I wasn't nervous that it wasn't going to work. I was just simply nervous because it was something we hadn't
something new.
done
It's very
scary.
vulnerable.
Extremely vulnerable, and you know, just to kind of jump into that with little to no background in music is daunting.
And it's like it's different like performing songs that aren't ours because people can like kind of just like judge us on one element, but having our own original music, it's like us. Like it's very personal. It's very like, oh my god, like this is my whole heart and soul into this.
I mean, I guess because I was the one that brought it up, I guess I probably have the least to say about how I felt jumping into it. I guess I was just sort of like, well, I've got this certain like lolly philosophy, and I don't know how I would explain it other than like if I want to do something, I will simply just do it by any means necessary. And I was kind of like that with the music. I was like, you know, we want to create music, so we're going to fucking do it. Don't think necessarily about the process. Just think about the end product, and then you'll figure out everything along the way. But I'm kind of glad, in a sense, that I am able to take that approach to stuff, because it means I don't spend as much time worrying about things that might get in the way.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You have a team of people around you to worry about the details.
Yeah.
And you want to make the big picture think of.
Yeah, basically.
Like I said, I personally was like scared. And I guess I was surprised when Lolly brought it up, just because it's not a possibility that I had considered before. I don't know why. I love music. Like, I don't know why it didn't. But, you know, I was very like nervous and excited to give it a go. I remember I did an elective at school that was like a, you know, Friday afternoon type situation. And it was about songwriting, and I did not come up with anything. Like, my brain was just like radio static. I couldn't think of like what I wanted to write about or like what I wanted the song to sound like. So I guess it got to this point where I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to music, I'm going to let everybody down. But with all of us working together, I think it worked out very well.
Yeah.
I guess I already touched on a bit of my feelings on it, but like when we started like talking about doing original music, I'd only been in the group for like 2 or 3 months by the time like the question got pulled up. So I kind of jumped from cover group to just doing J-pop cover stuff for like 2 or 3 months, and then went straight into like working on music. So it was very like chop and change very quickly. So I kind of had to quickly adapt to the changes, but it was very comforting because everyone was obviously going through the same thing. But I also wasn't surprised, like, because like I'd known Lolly for a couple of months at that point. We've been talking on and off about like A-MUSE and stuff. So I kind of already knew like what the goals were. So I wasn't taken by surprise, but it was just very, very daunting. Like, oh my God, like that's going to be my voice on there, because I have a very personal thing about like my speech. I'm very quiet. I have like a small speech impediment with my lisp and stuff. So I was very like, oh my God, like I'm going to sound absolutely shite. But everyone we've worked with on the music so far has been so like encouraging and like making sure we're all comfortable. And like Nomi mixing, Sora producing for us, and also mixing Flay on our new song. He's been so helpful. Yeah, it's been a very, very good process.
Yeah. I think much like the rest of the group, I too was not necessarily surprised by the revelation, because it sort of seemed like a natural next step if we were going to continue the upward trajectory of growing A-MUSE and making A-MUSE bigger, because it's sort of like, you know, covers are fantastic and they're so much fun, and it's really fun to dance and sing to music that we enjoy, but you can only do that for so long. Like there's a ceiling before you stop growing, if that's all that you do.
I guess me saying that I felt surprised is more kind of like a already kind of situation.
It seemed like a
really music. It's more of like a what, music now.
Yeah, I definitely really, and honestly, like it's something that definitely stirred a lot of excitement in me when I heard about it, because I've been interested in music through my whole life. So the thought that I would be actually able to be involved with recording, singing, and like you know, making a song, I was like, oh my God, like this is an amazing opportunity, and I really wanted to be a part of that. The pragmatic side of me, which is very strong, was skeptical at first, because I was like, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. But I know Lolly very well. I knew that we would end up with something. We would end up with something.
We all
by the end of the year. So it made me very excited to be, because despite doing music all the way through school, I was kind of always under the impression that I would never be somebody who would be able to do this kind of stuff. So being able to actually step forward and do it, and in a space like Idols, where I just am passionate about it. It's just like so cool and so crazy.
When I was a little babby Kate, all I wanted to be when I grew up was a singer. And as I got older, I was kind of like, we put that dream to bed, that will never happen. And so it's really nice to think that it kind of has.
Yeah, you know, same thing. Like I had a lot of trauma experiences, like auditioning for my talent show, but like I would run off stage crying before I could even sing. And then I always told my mum that I wanted to do like apply for those like the Voice Kids kind of thing. And my mum was like, oh no, you missed out then. And then she told me a couple years later, she was like, I couldn't let you go on stage. Like you would have embarrassed yourself. And I'm like, a part of me was like, thank you, mum, because I would have absolutely like embarrassed myself on like live TV. But like being able to like do this now is very like, oh my God, like little baby Aleks and Kate, Pengi. They would be so happy.
Next topic? What do you want to talk about next?
Well, I figured that, you know, while we're talking about original music, we should talk about what our process of actually creating it looks like. So, you know, from start to finish, what does the A-MUSE tackles original music kind of process look like? To start off with, I just wanted to add a little note, and that is that at the time when we all kind of went, okay, actually let's do this, let's create music, none of us had vocal training for many, many years or ever. So we found our beautiful singing teacher, Marcia, and she has been so instrumental in the creation of this music instrumental. Love you, Marcia.
Love you.
She's been fantastic, and you know, initially it was just kind of like hey, you know, we're singing a lot, we should maybe get some training in this thing that we are doing pretty regularly, but from the get-go, she's just been so helpful, and it turned into her being a, you know, really solid part in us kind of
helping us like with our lyrics and the flow. Like we bring our pieces to her, like once we kind of had something to show, and she would help us like decide on lyrics, like line distribution stuff, like and all of that. Like I don't think we could. We may have done it. We could have done it without her, but like I feel like she really helped us take it to the next level. And
Something else that I think has been really wonderful about working with Marcia is that we initially attended on going and seeing her about, you know, just like bringing just general songs like, you know, oh, we just want to learn to sing as a group better. We want to like, you know, hone in on like some specific problems. And we were going to bring her just like random songs, like not our actual idol stuff. And straight off the bat, she was like, so what are you working on? Why don't you sing that for me? And we were kind of like...
But it's in Japanese.
Yeah. Because we were seeing someone else a little bit before Marcia, and, you know, he was helpful, he was good, but we just sang, like, you know, Somewhere Over the Rainbow and stuff like that, which was good, you know, in, I guess, learning a little bit more about our voices. But Marcia kind of immediately being like, let's work on the songs you're working on. Like, it doesn't make sense not to, and she was absolutely right. So
Took it in stride.
Yeah.
Even though it was in a completely different language.
Yeah. We had to explain to her kind of what idols were and what we were doing, but she was totally like, that's cool, let's work on it. And she's even been to a couple of our shows and, you know, has helped us warm up before shows and stuff like that. She's
learning like a bunch of like the language and like the style and stuff.
She's been
I
fantastic.
like the names that she makes up for the songs.
Yeah, I love that. Trying to remember the names.
Yeah, she
Chicken Bop.
Rat.
Yeah, Rat for Tokyo Rat City. Jiken Bopatsu is Chicken Bop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's good for our original music as well, because she thinks of things that I wouldn't even have thought to think about when it comes to writing and singing songs, like the way that words are pronounced in your mouth when you sing them, or where's the right place to take a breath. Very, because she has so much experience in singing, and way more than all of us combined probably, she can just bring out those tiny little bits that just elevate it to that professional standard that we really want to go for.
So I guess to circle back a little bit like that, Lolly is our, you know, she's the producer, the leader, Lolly is God.
She is.
So in terms of getting the ball rolling, you know, when it's square one, time to, you know, song start, let's go. Lolly does some looking around to try to find a producer that, you know, kind of fits the sound we're going for. And I guess before even that, we collectively have a bit of a discussion about what kind of sound we want.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to elaborate on that at all?
No, I think you've done all the elaborating for me
Correct.
already.
Anyway, so we kind of reach out to a producer, and all of our songs have been, the bass track has been left entirely with the producer, and they've come back to us with a draft product, and we all kind of listen to it and offer feedback. Actually, how did Reverie come about? Because I remember, I don't think we were initially looking at doing two songs. If my memory serves me correctly, we were going to do one, and he kind of was like, I also made this for you.
Well, Reverie I actually had first,
Yeah.
because when I initially contacted Sora being like, hey, would you be interested in producing idol music? He was like, you know, I'd love to give it a try. And when we were talking, he was sort of like, look, I'm going to make this one track first, and if you like it, then we can look at doing another one. And Reverie was the track that he made, and like instantly I was like, I really like this. I would really like to use it for something. I just thought it had a really nice sound to it. So that one was not even me going to him and saying like I want something in particular. It was more just like I told him like, oh, this is the kind of music we're like interested in making. Would you give it a go? And that was his first attempt.
Yeah, I remember Lolly sending me the bass track for Reverie and saying, you know, here is this whole ass track. Would you like to have a go coming up with a melody for it? And I remember just listening to Reverie for the first time and being like, this gets to be our song? For us? I loved it so much. So shout out to Sora. We love you.
We love you, Sora.
And when I gave Reverie a couple listens, and the melody, what ended up being the melody for the song, kind of came to me pretty much straight away. I remember I had the track playing from one phone, and then I like borrowed Jake's phone and played the track off his phone, and then on my phone I was recording, and I just recorded the entire melody in like doots. And then I sent that to A-MUSE, and I was like, what do you guys think? Let's, you know, and I think we took it to Marcia, and we made some, we had lyrics by the time we went to Marcia.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of made some alterations. I believe the lyrics on Reverie was a lolly job?
Yeah, Lolly.
I wrote
Yes.
the original lyrics and then they were edited by you two, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the product that you end up with is pretty much. Lolly had a really good first concept, and what you hear is basically the original, more or less, aside from a few little tweaks, I think.
We changed some lines around. Like I think I originally had Luvkii's bit.
Yeah, so I usually assign the vocal parts for the songs, and initially I've gotten, I think, as we've sung more together, I've gotten a lot more used to, I guess, what parts of songs or what areas sit most comfortably in people's voices. So with that first track, there definitely were a few parts that got shuffled around.
I remember mine was shuffled as well.
But yeah, we took that to Marcia, and that was Reverie. Rocket was more of a collaboration with us and Sora. I remember this was during lockdown, and we all had a massive group call, and we were talking about like, what kind of things do we want in this song? And I remember specifically being like, I want a key change at the end. Like that is my request.
Ask and you shall receive.
And we got one. Thank you, Sora. Thank you, A-MUSE, for letting me have my key change.
It's hype. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good key change.
How did we come up with the concept? Because I remember we were kind of talking about what we wanted the song to be about. I can't remember how we got to the space thing.
Because of A-MUSE and stars.
I think, we kind of wanted to steer away from the, I guess, traditional, like, we're following our dreams. We wanted to, I guess, give it more oomph. And we were kind of like, our motif has always kind of been very star-themed and space-themed. So if we kind of make it about achieving our dreams and reaching our goals, but also tie it into the concept of blasting off, going to space, like literally reaching for the stars.
I think one of us at one point while we were having this discussion as a joke was like, it's about A-MUSE taking over the world.
That was me.
Was that you?
I did that.
And I feel like that was probably a bit of a space
actually,
became a part of that idea because we were like,
First off, now
actually,
the universe.
now come to think of it, I was like, the song is about A-MUSE takes over Brisbane. A-MUSE takes over Australia. A-MUSE takes over the world, and then after the world, space.
I think that was a little bit as well of like whenever we make these songs, we always have a little bit of like a musical inspiration, and I think Wasta was one of the ones where they have like a really specific like storyline for what their group is, and we were like, well, we don't want to go full head ass into like we are space girls,
we
and
are
that's
aliens,
our backstory. We're not like EXO where we have superpowers But that was a little bit of a concept as well, is like we wanted to have a little bit of a story within the song, and that was what that was about. A space story.
I think that in terms of the structure of the song itself, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we sent Sora Goshu. No,
Goshu was like, it was sent as a guide for the vibe, but not the layout of the song. I very much gave him a certain structure that I wanted for the song because
The song, I know we gave a specific song example. It's on the tip of my tongue.
there's a few songs that I gave him, to be fair, but I was very specific of like, I wanted it to be a song that could fit in a lot of calls if people wanted to fit them in. So I basically was like, I want this specific structure with this kind of intro, this kind of verse, this kind of outro, this kind of dance break.
Rooms for this kind of mix here. And then Sora brought back the draft for Hoshi and a Rocket, which was, we all really liked it, and the rest is kind of history.
If I could make one more note on that, is that when it came back, we did this. But there were so many melody drafts of this song. I feel like there is an alternative universe for how many different sounds Rocket went through.
I was actually going to touch on that in a second because, like, Reverie's melody came to me quite easily. Rocket had Molly and I sitting around my keyboard basically smacking our heads against it and hoping that something would stick. Like, it was...
That one took months.
The original... the original instrumental for Rocket was a lot more dense. There was like I think there was more of a melody in the instrumental, which we ended up having to strip back because it was really difficult to write a melody with the current kind of melody that was sitting in the instruments. And I think that that's kind of one of the reasons that we were struggling so much with it. But yeah, we had so many melody drafts, and I remember at one point I kind of just stepped away because I was like, I have no idea. And you did a lot of work on, I remember one day I left you in my house and I went to work and you spent the day with my keyboard just like banging out the tunes.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
You came back.
So you guys kept, you would make a melody and then I would write lyrics for the melody and then the melody would change and then I'd write something else and then it was a bit of a back and forth until we had this like panicked meeting, like maybe a month before we were going to debut and it wasn't done yet, where Pengi was just like, okay, the single brain celled one, this is my turn, just completely cleared the slate. Because like I feel like when you look too closely at a project and too much into your art, you see all the fuzzy lines and things become too messy. And it just took that meeting where we all stepped back, we had a breather and we went, okay.
Well, what had happened was, I think it got to the point where Pengi was like, let's just put what we have together. And then we put it together, and Pengi thankfully was the reality check and was like, respectfully, this sounds like shit.
It was just too much.
I know, I felt so bad, but I was sat on the couch listening to it. I think my housemate was also in the room, and I was with Cam, and I was sat on the couch like this, like, I am so sorry that I have to be this bitch.
You were right though.
Yeah, you were right.
It wasn't good, and that's no fault of like lollies or anything like that. It was just kind of like I've reflected on this a lot, and I do think that outside of us all being complete newbies when it comes to writing songs, I think having that very heavy melodic instrumental really kind of threw us for a loop. And because there's a lot going on in the track, it was really easy to kind of like run away with all of these crazy melody ideas. And then you and Cam did some work with it, and you really stripped it back.
Yeah.
In saying that, I think even after stripping it back, I remember Pengi and Cam dropped it in, but Pengi was like, oh, look, I'm going to be honest, don't know if it's going to be workable by the time that we need. And I just remember it so like specifically in my brain because I was like, objectively, Pengi was correct.
Yeah, I could tell that you were stressed and wound up about it, and I was like, I think that you really need to take some time away from this song.
Yeah, Pengi was like, look, I just don't think it's going to be done the time. And it was, two minds of like, objectively, I was like, probably you're correct. And in the long term, it would be better for my frame of mind to just step back. But then my brain was like, no, I want to meet my deadline.
That's not how lolly works. There is no stepping back.
Yeah. And so what happened was that I cried at my desk for like 10 minutes because I was like, I want to meet my deadline. And then in pure lolly fashion, after 10 minutes, I was like, well, let's go. Let's get back to work.
After I started restructuring it though, and we like explained. Basically, I think because YouTube was so deeply involved with what was going on, it was like can't see the forest for the trees sort of situation. And because I'd been like, despite my musical experience as well, this was also my final year of university. So I was like quite a bit removed from most of the writing process just because I was really busy with my uni work and I was like, I can't be as hands-on with this as I want to be, but because I was so far back from the process, I was able to look at it and see what had gone wrong and how to fix it, just purely because I wasn't in it.
Kind of time on that is that like Marcia also plays that role for us, where wherever we hit our kind of wall with our creative process, we always go, we will ask Marcia what she thinks, because she is divorced from the situation where she's not in there trying to like be a part of it, but when we present things to her, we get this like level-headed response from someone who we really trust, who knows what they're talking about when they say, okay, this is what you've got to do to progress this. And then it really clears us because we are all very passionate and we all have very sometimes differing opinions, and when it's like half and half, we just need a neutral person to make the final, this is what will work best.
Yeah, basically. And Cam was also extremely helpful with
Cam
that.
too,
Cam is extremely musical. He's always been like he's quite naturally gifted at music, so he was able to provide a lot of like really, really valuable advice as well, and he was really able to pick up a feel for like how it needed to go. And honestly though, once we started restructuring, you guys were really quick to like take that on and be like, this is exactly what we need to do to fix it.
We all kind of
so,
really on it.
Once it was like, okay, this is the problem and this is what we need to do to fix it.
Yeah.
The process of fixing it was a lot
And the
faster.
main problem was just that we were overcomplicating it. What ended up being the melody was, it was stripped back and casual, and it's still fun, and I think that you and Pam did a really good job of putting that forward in the first place.
Yeah, our problem, and what is universally our problem when we like to write songs, is that we always want to put so many lyrics. Lyric density is always like something that we like just want to say a lot of words, and sometimes it's having to pull it back, and also like not needing to use like full sentences and proper grammar all the time as well, I think can be like a bit challenging in writing.
I feel like with that kind of topic is that when going forward for our next song, when it comes to writing this time, I really want to just write once we have like a complete full, this is finally how it's going to sound and we're not going to change it from here, because as being newbies with like creating music, every time we've made a song, we've kind of blended the lyric writing process and the melody process at the same time, because we're working in such like a tight time frame to get things done. But like what I've learned is like waiting for things to be really, really final is the clearest way of getting a better product.
Do we want to discuss anything about the production of Revolt Revive? Because that one has been a little bit different to, I guess, rather than going into the full production, breakdown of how we worked, because it happened in a very similar way to Rocket and Reverie did. But obviously, like we've said, it's a very different sound. What kind of inspired that? Like,
I feel like we threw heaps and heaps of ideas around, and there was a big playlist that was kind of our inspiration. I know that like lyrics wise, I had some ideas about, and I threw some songs into the ring that were inspiring to me. I think actually Boss Bitch by Doja Cat was one of them, and Pretty Savage by Blackpink was one of them. So there was a lot of like really hard-hitting kind of fuck you songs in there.
Yeah, I think they're very like, when we were talking about lyrics and like kind of like theme for the song, there was like something like Ambivalent by Kayaki Zaka was very much like the direction I felt to want to go, and I think our song reflects like that a lot in different ways as well.
Yeah, what we kind of do is more recently for this one is we have like a little mind map where people chuck up some concepts and some ideas, and then we take it away and we create stuff with it. So when I wrote Revolt Revive, I was looking at the mind map and all of the themes that we had there, and I remember when I first put it out to you guys, it was like, this is too emo and too sad, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it, I'll make it angrier, and I brought it back and everyone was like, this is too angry, we just can't release this is just, and I was like, oh, okay, and I took it back again and I like rewrote it, and I think the one that I was then I presented it, and then it was like, it hit it, because what made it angrier was that I made it kind of like outwardly angry and like outwardly pointed, but then I think it was either like Kate or Lolly or Rinya who was like, we need to make it about like us and like our like how we feel, and like what about ourselves holds us back from doing what we want to do. And that just completely rearranged the way I was looking at things, and I was like, okay, from an internal lens, what can I do to change it? And that's kind of the product we have. And then Lolly was the one who did our Japanese lyrics this time.
Yeah, which I checked it with a couple of people, but also I don't know if they're accurate. So take it with a grain of salt. But this time tried writing the Japanese lyrics after for Rocket and Reverie. We had one of our alumni members, Suika. She took charge of writing the Japanese lyrics. This time, just because we were doing a mixed language thing, thought it might get a bit confusing, so I thought I would give it a go myself. And we were running on a really short time frame, but it was a good challenge, so I'm glad I did it.
Sorry, you go, Luvkii.
What was the decision behind why we did mixed language rather than 2 different languages this time?
It takes a lot of time to record a song in 2 languages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of that at the minute.
Yeah. I think that releasing Reverie and Hoshi and I Rocket in both languages was a good choice for
As
at
our
first.
first, yeah.
You know, like just because, you know, it pays homage to both Japanese idols and us being Australian idols. But moving forward, it is not feasible to record 2 languages of every single song
Money,
we produce.
baby.
Yeah, like it's
I saw Grace from Demo and Slash, one of the voters, posted in our Discord the other day being like, oh, I've been listening to REVOLT a lot. I really like the mixed language. It flows really nicely and well. And I was like, oh.
you did well, Lolly.
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Patch.
No,
Very good.
I think
Lots-
I think it works very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of people have commented to me like how awesome Revolt Revive is, like in lyrics and just like as a song in general. Like there's been so much growth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much
Which
growth.
is like,
And
it was like
it's
so
crazy.
scary originally because it's so different and like out of the box and so experimental than like what our usual concept is. So it was like getting all this feedback and being like, oh my god, it's like actually really good. I'm like,
See, I guess for me, maybe, how do I put it? I don't feel nervous about it because, not to say that I wasn't confident in the first 2 songs, but like with the first 2 songs, it was like our first product, so nerves were inevitable. But it's like
Yeah.
with Revolt Revive, listening to it, I could confidently say, even before we put our own stuff over the top of it, I was like, this is a great track, and I have confidence in it. So I
Yeah.
guess for that reason, I was sort of like, not to say like I know people will like it, but it was sort of like it's personally a track that I really enjoy. So I'm sure there's going to be other people out there that will also enjoy it.
My dad actually helped us to record Revolt Revive because he has a little recording studio. Shout out to Uncle Bruce.
Thank you, Uncle
Thank you,
Bruce.
Uncle Bruce. He, you know, got really excited about it, and when the track was maybe 90% complete, he was like, come on, Kate, come on, show me your track, I'd like to hear it. And so I played it for him even though it wasn't finished, and maybe 30 seconds in, he paused it and looked very directly at me and said, you girls might do really well with this one. I think about that a lot. So, and like, my dad is a very difficult to please person, so to have that kind of feedback from him, yeah.
It was very epic.
Yeah, very
Very
epic and
epic.
cool of my dad to say that. Enough about our
Music.
and our production process. I think that it's really exciting moving forward. You know, we learnt so much from working on Ronkit and Reverie, and we learnt so much on Revolt Revive recently. So,
Why is it
Yeah.
that all our songs start with R?
whoa!
I noticed this. Am I the only one who's noticed this?
No, I also noticed this, but I was like,
Whoa.
I just
I
never thought much
actually-
of it.
Hoshi and no Rocket,
Shut up.
Rinya.
Everyone calls it Rocket though.
Hoshi.
Everyone calls it
Rocket,
Rocket though.
Rev.
What are we up to now?
Rocket, Rev, Rev.
Rocket.
Change our name to A-MUSE.
What's the R stand for? I see.
Alrighty, what are we doing now?
I've got some games.
Woo,
I've got
yeah.
some funny games.
What
for
do
us
you
to
got?
play.
What do you got for
Music
us?
game. So this first game is a buzzer game.
Oh,
So
yes.
Tarika, we did a fun buzzer game last lesson I nearly said, but I guess that would be appropriate. Basically, I'm going to be reading reading some of our lyrics to the songs that we cover, translated from Japanese to English.
Google Translate?
Honestly, I just Googled this song translation to English.
Excellent.
And I picked ones that had a
Should have done Google Translate. That would have been really funny.
I did think about that, but I also was like, Google Translate does some things. Like,
Yeah, no, that's the point because it
I could get
fucks
to
it
the
up.
bottom of the song and you guys would be like,
What is that?
what song was that again? So yeah, and I'm going to be starting from the beginning of the song and reading through, and the second you recognize what song it is, buzz in. And to buzz in, say if I had the right answer, I would go, Kate, and I would put my hand up.
Holy.
Yeah. Where this is going to read like some really bad slam poetry or something.
hard reading songs you know when you know like the tune to it. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe it will be easier because it's in English.
So I'm gonna read it like I'm doing like a dramatic
Alright,
reading.
sure.
Also, any English words, here's a little hint for you. Any English words will be like, I'll read them, but the title of any song will be redacted.
Okay.
So, song number 1, let's go.
Wait.
The first song starts with redacted. 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 If they said they like me, I would.
Ambivalent.
That's correct. It is ambivalent.
Obviously.
I would know that song like my left tit.
That one was for Lolly. 1 point for Miss Dove. All right. Song number 2. A ticket to a one-way vacation.
Lolly.
I knew it immediately.
Yes.
Tokyo Rat City.
Say it louder for the people.
Tokyo Rat City!
Lolly's the most fluent out of all of us. This isn't fair.
All right. Song number 3. Looking like it was broken, the city cried, completely erasing the in pride-stained sentiment. Let's seek days by days. That was Aleks.
Scary future.
Correct. I knew that the days by days would give it away, but that first part was like.
I was gonna say My Landscape.
I also thought it was
like,
going to be my
This
landscape
has
for a
gotta
second.
be something by
No, the first couple of lines
It's a
of
bitch.
My Landscape is them singing about a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you singing it from the beginning all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I said that. Gotta pay attention in class. Here is song 4. Let's go. From now on, escape from reality. Tonight, sensation, new world, follow me.
Oh,
Sounding distortion more than you can imagine. From now on, tonight, revolution, new generation.
Rinya,
Rinya.
Have It My Way.
Correct! Yay!
Yes, I was like, where's Sensation? What English? What song is Sensation?
not hearing like the romance, you like Romanized.
Yeah, simulation. Alright. I actually prepared more songs than I thought we might have time for, but you guys are breezing through these.
Yeah,
so
that's so good.
alright.
See, we know our repertoire.
We're gonna do 6 songs.
Whoa,
Okay. The next song is you're gonna get this straight away. I don't get why my mum gets angry.
Rinya, family name.
And our last song,
We need to do more obscure ones. We need to do some of like the ones like
honestly,
That we've done once.
I feel like there weren't many resources available.
Oh.
Like and
not even like Vocaloid ones.
there was Vocaloid, but I was also, maybe this was silly of me, but I was worried that it might take too long to get. I was worried that I might be like,
No, we know our songs.
Kate reads us the entire song.
I should have done some Love Lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Final song number 6. Looking up at the Milky Way, I hold your hand gently. I can feel
Aleks.
it. Yeah?
Oh, Luvkii.
Lolly.
Rinya.
Our own songs included.
They sure are.
Is it every
Yay! That was all of them. I'm glad to
Who
know
won that? Was
we,
it Lolly?
Who won?
Lolly and Rinya tied, I think.
Yeah.
I got 2.
Did you?
Oh,
Yeah, 2.
I also got 2.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
3-way tie.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that we all know our repertoire. We all know what we're singing about. We love to
Yeah.
sing it.
Yeah, we got the emotions in us. Memory games are such a huge weakness of mine, so every time we have a buzzer game, I'm like,
I'm always like, I never remember the names of the songs, so I hear them and I'm like, yeah, it's the one that goes du-du-du-du-du, and then I don't know what the song is called, so it's the one that goes du-du-du-du-du. Our next game is a sketchbook game, and this one I'm going to ask everybody to be a little bit creative. I would like everybody, okay, we're going to, everyone has 5 question mark minutes. 5 probably should be enough. You'll have to be speedy. But I'm going to ask everybody to take 5 minutes to basically design a solo release single. So what I want to know is what kind of song would it be? Let us know some artists or songs with a similar sound. What's the theme? What's your song about? What story are you trying to tell us? For example, like, is your song about falling in love or eating ramen or, I don't know, going to space? Like, yeah. And then I want you to draw the single.
Yeah.
Like the single cover, like draw a picture of it. And then also give us the working title of your single.
All right.
And your time will start.
I can hear Rinya into breathing in. Okay, I need to actually.
Ready now, go.
Don't look at my work. You're cheating off of me. I was your work. She's copying me.
Were you ever one of those kids who would like cheat off another person?
No, because I was
never.
smart.
One time, I think I said I once, but one time in science during a test, I somehow managed to get my laptop underneath my desk and I used my feet to look up the.
You were freak. You were freak, genuinely.
Like the answers to the questions. My teacher looked at me the whole time, but I still passed.
Someone on my secret Stan Twitter account writes their test answers on their foot, and they just like put their foot up on their knee during exams, and I'm like, you are fucked. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I once knew a chick in uni who, like in uni it doesn't fucking matter what the other student does, but they noticed that another student was cheating and had like notes drawn on them and they ratted them out. And I was like, bro, it doesn't even fucking matter how someone else does.
Don't be a brute licker.
If I catch someone else like with the notes on their leg, I'm like, damn, they one step ahead of me. I should have done that.
People who
Don't be a fucking
harass people
narc.
like that, it's like, are you a fucking cop? Shit.
Right.
Alrighty.
Anyway, so instead of doing a 3, 2, 1 reveal, I think I'd like everybody to introduce their concepts one at a time, starting with the album, the single artwork, and the name of your single. And then from there, explain to us what's going on, what's it about, what are your general vibes. Who wants to start? Do you want to start at the Pengi end or the Rinya end?
I don't mind.
I also do not.
We're starting at the Rinya end.
So I was naughty and I answered two, if that's okay.
That's very naughty, but I will allow it in this case.
Because one of them is serious and one of them is less serious. So you can't spring a question like this on me and be like, haha,
serious answers only.
So the first one is, it's kind of like, that's the album artwork.
What have you drawn?
Oh, it's like XOSC.
I like how that's the first thing you zero in on. So it's like, it's a side profile and like it's plugged, something's plugged into the back of the head. And you know that one Atari, like the 64-bit like of the car driving?
Yeah,
like
that's cute.
on the head.
That's cute.
And the song.
Do you want to show that camera?
Oh, maybe I will.
Oh, that camera?
Yeah, there. Woo.
Whoa.
I wanted the sound to be similar to kind of Weekend Blinding Lights, kind of that low-key, angsty 3 a.m. at midnight. 3 a.m. at midnight? driving at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night through the city, neon lights, that kind of thing. That kind of stuff is my shit.
Yeah.
Porter Robinson, M83 especially. I put XOSC because I've been listening to 1 billion views.
It's a fucking banger.
It is a fucking, the way it's like very low-key and chill. Yeah. But the way they like sing, kind of like, you want that kind of like low effort.
So chill.
Yeah. I want the song to be about how time is fake, life is fake.
True, bestie.
Not being real, it being a simulation. And I've titled it at the moment, it's because I ran out of time, awake.exe.
Cute. I like it. What's the other one?
My other one is because I'm a little... I was going to say something really problematic there, I will not.
Okay.
I don't know, that's the album artwork right now.
Oh, like in Chinese.
Hoshi.
Yeah, you got it. So it's like it will literally just be singing about Chinese food. So you know the song, I love Chinese food. Hey, that bit like actually from a Chinese person.
I would like to do like a chaotic Dempa style song where it's just like...
So it would be in that kind of like, if people have listened to Shinto, the idol group, otherwise Wasta Galbi, that kind of like using the traditional kind of Chinese/Japanese sound. And then it will be a fun song about Chinese food. And then in the bridge, it will actually secretly be about the difficulties of growing up as an ABC and having a foot into identities and, having your food being a really big part of your culture and also feeling like you don't belong anywhere.
Wow,
Very good.
And then
that's no joke. It ain't no joke.
Exactly. So it's like a fun song about I love Xia Jiao, I love Xiaolong Bao, and then in the middle it's like actually I don't know where I belong. I don't know who my motherland
country is.
I don't know my home country.
These are I don't know why you say one of these is a joke. I think they're both very good concepts.
I just thought you were about to say what both of them are
Both of them are fucking jokes.
No, that's actually,
good.
I actually really
it.
like that. Would you like to show the cameo picture?
Yeah, the title at the moment, because I couldn't think of anything, is 好吃.
What does that mean?
Which in Chinese means delicious
Yeah.
or
Aw.
tasty.
Oh,
So
yeah.
something like that.
I like it a lot. Well done, Rinya.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm a little
Little guy.
I keep wanting to say the problematic thing, but I will not.
Don't be problematic, Rinya.
My drawing, my art. So, what do I need to do again? Sorry.
So you've created it's your debut single.
My debut
Congratulations.
single, what I have drawn is myself upon a ancient marble throne, and
Just like
the
Twilight?
moon is behind me, and it's bleeding, and there's like stairs and like rose petals falling, and I'm like draped elegantly across a crumbling throne.
Is it like
and
Twilight?
the name of my song is called "Sucked," and it's about
How's it spelled? How's it spelled?
it's spelled Succed. And it's about like
being a sexy vampire.
it's about being a sexy vampire, and it's kind of like one of the songs about like it would play like at the emotional core of like an 80s film like The Labyrinth, where she's like dancing with David Bowie and he wants her but she doesn't want him, and they're like in the ballroom. And my musical inspirations are like Hosier and like Bon Iver, and it's all about like, oh, I'm in the woods and he's trying to get me. My blood is running down. I'm escaping into the night.
So just to be clear, this is like 50 Shades of Grey, except if it were a song. So like a fan fiction for Twilight, but in the form of a song.
Yeah. I mean, not just like Twilight, but like my original vampire person.
Oh, see? Your vampire persona?
Yeah, and I feel it would be like a dark, edgy song, and there would be like a piano. And when you play my song backwards, it reveals that Paul McCartney died in a car accident in the 70s, and they covered it up. And it was if you play "Sucked" backwards, it says Paul McCartney is dead.
Luvkii's like writhing in her seat right now
Kate is
because
dead. I'm a massive fan of the Beatles, and she always bullies me in this way by saying that Paul McCartney is dead. He is.
I'm a really big fan of putting subliminal messages into music, so it would say like join the Navy and all that shit. This is my drawing. Here you go, guys. Here's my drawing.
Thanks, Luvkii.
You're welcome.
All right, Lolly, what do you got?
How are you gonna follow up to that
I was gonna say mine's not nearly as fucking exciting as
as join the Navy?
let's join the Navy.
as sucked wanting to be sucked.
They want to be fucked.
Oh, shit! But mine is serious.
I wish to see it.
I guess mine. I'm going for something more aesthetic. So in terms of like the look, I want something with like obviously purple and flowers and lace and flowy shit. Kind of thinking like if you know IU, I like her look. It's nice. I like it.
What have you drawn?
It's just a fucking there's flowers and it's a face and there's some lace.
I like it.
Yeah.
Lolly is a really good drawer. I feel like this is a little known fact, but she can bust out some good ones.
But I mean, we've got.
Well, I mean, like you're not in your element there. Like you're not in your element.
Like 1 minute.
Anyways, I like R&B, rap, soul music a lot, so I would probably want to do something with like an R&B kind of vocal. However, I also really like
EXO.
I do like EXO, but I also, in particular, I'm thinking about, I don't know what you would call this genre of electronic music, but like Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Like EDM, but not really, right? There's a word for it.
What's wrong?
She's steaming
It's
up.
on the edge of my tongue.
Let me see
The
I
genre.
thought you were getting excited about Darude Sandstorm.
I mean, I am.
I mean, yeah. It's a classic.
I thought she was vibrating over Darude
There's
Sandstorm.
no,
It's electronic dance music, trance music, techno dance / electronic.
I wouldn't call it trance.
It puts me in a fucking trance.
I would have said like techno Eurobeat.
Techno Eurobeat.
Yeah.
And also the best way I can describe it is songs that play in an arcade, like an arcades, and make you feel like your brain's about to leak out.
Anyway, I feel like these two things in theory don't mesh, but I mean,
You're gonna make it.
You would make them mesh.
I also like synthy music. Something with a bit of synth. I do love a bit of synth.
And
I
this
can
is
pop my
what she has
pussy
written
too.
here is synth I can pop my pussy
No,
to.
it's something I can pop my pussy
something.
to.
Okay.
It's got to have a hard beat. I personally like. Not that I'm much of a dancer, but I really like dancing with like popping styles and like isolation and all that. So it's got to have something with a good beat that I can pop my pussy to.
Yeah, epic.
You put your
You
whole
drew
pussy
stars in front of the moon.
Yeah, I want to put
those
my
are rose
pussy into
petals.
it.
Oh, okay.
And the title is just Little Details.
Oh, I read it as little petals.
Oh, cute.
Oh, cute.
like
Well done, Lolly.
Your answer is a punny. Get it out.
Yeah, look, can't match up to them.
Is yours just the Beatles?
Yeah, mine is Paul McCartney.
It's a diss track.
This is an image. This is the album. Like for whatever reason, this is the first thing that popped into my mind, and I went with it. It's a picture of a tree, and I am hanging upside down in the tree. The song,
Like those indie songs with the cover, yeah.
The song is called Neverland.
Oh,
I'm
that's
also a big
cute.
fan of Peter Pan, and my song is about reminding yourself to see the world through your inner child, like looking at the world through childlike eyes, because like there's a lot of shit in the world, it's true, but also I think it's important to embrace your inner child and, you know, move forward with that in mind. I have written a quote from my favourite musical, Hades, and that is, to the world we dream about and the one we live in now.
Your
It's
favorite
like
musical, Hades?
Hades Town.
Just Hades.
I've been playing the video game Hades, and it just, you get them confused, you know?
They're the same thing.
Do they both have sexy Hades men?
Yes.
Oh.
But yeah, you know, like the world does have some crap things about it, and it's important to keep that in mind. But I think it's also important to remember that the world actually has a lot of good in it too.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done,
Yeah.
Kate.
Oh, and the sound is like a there's a Vocaloid song, a Miku song. I don't know how well known it is, but has anyone listened to Fairyland by Miku? It's got like a nice sort of like peppy, sort of dreamy kind of beat to it. And I guess also you could compare it to Moshi Moshi Japan, but like more
Cute.
floaty and dreamy. Just like something upbeat and happy and fun.
Very fun.
Very fun.
Alright.
Alex time.
So the cover of my single is 6 versions of me with different hairstyles.
That's just A-MUSE.
And there is a reason for this, because the name of my single is called A-MUSE. Like, not to be confused with Hakachumu.
Sorry, can you elaborate?
So the song covers me singing about various locations around Australia.
I love it.
Silly one.
Tell me more.
So not to be confused with Hakachumu, but basically like in Hakachumu.
Brisbane, Melbourne.
So when they're singing about
Alice
foods, I sing
Springs.
Bunnings Snags, Vegemite, and I couldn't think of a third one.
Fairy bread.
Fairy bread. And then I talk about various locations like South Bank, Sydney, The Wheel. Brisbane is cool.
So true.
And
We have a big rock.
it's not to be confused with Hakachumu because I did it first.
We all wear fucked outfits.
You wrote this song before Cyber wrote one.
I wrote it before.
We do this in the dance.
Except we have our middle fingers up.
Oh yeah.
No. Fight me outside the Stumbo, mate.
Run.
Get your hands off my penis.
Let's go.
And because of this song, this has put Australia on the map worldwide, and I contributed to, I just did,
National treasure, Alex.
She's actually the reason that Brisbane is getting the Olympics.
I'm the reason that Rina Hamoon has a job.
Oh.
Excellent.
Bold claim.
So I can use me. Watch out for it on Spotify and other streaming services.
Very cool. What about you, Pengi?
Alright, I feel like this is so incredibly predictable for me, but my song, this is my album artwork here. It's me sitting behind a big jack-o'-lantern with a cat and some more pumpkins and a penguin and the moon and clouds in the back.
I love it.
I like
would
it.
be a Halloween themed song because I feel like my first solo song as an idol could not be anything else.
Yeah.
Like,
This bitch owns October.
this bitch owns October and Halloween. And the song inspiration, it would be called Ghosts because
Sexy.
sexy, simple.
Yeah.
Keep it really simple. It would be basically about a Halloween party. Think like Crazy Party Night by Kiari Pamu Pamu or like those, you know, those like Vocaloid songs like
Bad
Bad
and Ghost
Night,
Rider.
and yeah, that have that like really haunted house, like Halloween kind
It goes
of feel.
off the deep end.
Goes off the deep end, yeah. But for the sound, I would really like it to sort of have lots of distorted guitars, be a little bit heavy, but also
Ooh.
have some.
Is
some
Grimes
pop-
written on there?
Yes, Grimes. Specifically, we appreciate power.
What, you're not calling the album XA212 computer code thing?
I am. Whilst I love Grimes and I love her music, I do not really care about her obsession with AI.
I love to send Pengi like bad Grimes memes. Like she's walking around LA with the Communist Manifesto.
She's a fucking idiot. I love her, but I wish she wouldn't speak. Anyway, I really like the floaty vocals and the distorted guitar in We Appreciate Power. And I also really like Passcode has a couple of really heavy, well, I mean, all of their songs are quite heavy and feature really distorted guitar, but like having higher floatier vocals would be something that I would do because that's what my voice suits.
Yay.
So
Cool.
yeah, that's
Nice.
it. I would wear the costume that Lolly made me for my birthday last year.
Yeah.
Out of all the songs here, which one do you think A-MUSE is most likely to take off with?
Suck.
I like Alex's Australian one. I think that's a winner.
I actually like Rinya's Chinese food.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good one
I would
too.
have to be the center for that one. Less
I think
weak
that would have to be a Rinya solo. I don't know if I could get involved.
I
with
wanted for the longest time to have Chi Pao inspired costumes, but I think it's a bit of a yoi topic. So, but I would still like
Maybe
it.
someday.
Maybe someday.
Stay tuned.
And we can sing about Chinese food, and then I will go into a fast rap about how, you know, my identity feels split between two cultures and I don't feel welcome in either. And yeah.
And when you play the rap backwards,
It says, listen to Luvkii sucked backwards.
On that note, that's it. We can move along to our question corner now.
Yeah, baby.
Question
Yay.
corner.
I reckon we've got time for 2 questions today.
All right, I will pull up le question.
So I have the questions.
Kate, where did these questions come from?
Well, funny you should ask that, Luvkii. These questions were, we opened up an online questionnaire for our lovely patrons. And yeah, we're going to answer a couple of them today. If you would like to consider becoming a patron, we can drop a link in the YouTube comments below.
So true.
Or if
Yeah.
you're listening, go onto our website or go onto Patreon. I think it's Patreon/A-MUSE Project.
Yeah. If you would like to submit a question, you know, you can join for as little as $2.
3 AUD.
Yeah, that's right. It's changed now, so it's $3 Australian. Our first question we will take is from Maho. Thank you, Maho. And she asks, what are your biggest tips, if any, for overcoming anxiety about performing as yourself?
Short answer, you don't.
Basically.
At the end of the day, you don't. But I guess some tips for anxiety is just have to remember that even if you like take a shit on stage or even if you just mess up, it's not the end of the world. It may seem like it, and yes, you've worked really hard and stuff, but people who are there to watch you and support you, they're not there to watch you because you're 100%, can get 100% on DDR, perfect dancer kind of thing. They're there to support you because you're you.
Yeah.
And
They wouldn't be there if they didn't want to be there.
yeah.
Essentially, which
As
is-
for actual tips to calm down, I like to just, I like to vom, do my little voms, but I also, you know, just run around, hang around with friends, you know, listen to some music, get some food into you, get some food and water into you before a show, that always helps. And yeah, obviously it's much easier said than done. As someone who does experience anxiety, it's just kind of one of those things that will never really truly go away, but it kind of gets better over time.
I think that something that Maho has said here, she says, performing as yourself. And I think that when you're performing as, you know, a character, when you're cosplaying, it's weird. You know, the first time I was not dancing as La Live Ellie, I was dancing as Kate. I actually felt, this only happened once, and I wish I could go back to this, but I kind of felt like I was more in my element because I felt like, oh, people can look at cosplays and be like, that Ellie cosplay is better than that Ellie cosplay. but there's only one Kate. So nobody's going to say this Kate is better than this Kate or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think, while that sentiment has kind of vanished for me personally, it can be a good starting point to think of, like, you are there for you and the audience wants you to do well.
Yeah.
That's something that has helped me. And also recognizing that performance anxiety, particularly if you are already an anxious person, recognizing that you are going to be nervous. Like, it is inevitable. You will feel nerves. And then on the day of the show, when you're having your little pre-show freak out, you can kind of go, oh, hello, that's my nervous energy. Awesome. Okay, glad you're here. Was expecting you, so that it's not, you don't get to the day and it's like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Oh my God. So yeah, I guess creating space for that as well.
I think for me, having a really good group of friends to kind of be there for you when you're going through your anxious moments really helps. Like backstage, before we go on stage, I'll usually be like, but we usually do a thing where we come together, we all touch hands and kind of just like
We be gay.
Give that energy to one another, and I think that
We lick
really
each
helps.
other's hands.
Bring your bubbles in the mouth. And,
I've never thrown up. I will never throw
You're
up.
going to one day.
I will not. I will never throw up. You guys don't understand.
She does
this.
these things backstage where she'll be looking right at you and then she'll go,
So I have this thing where I get all this nervous energy and anxiety kind of pent up around my chest and my stomach area. The only way to relieve it is if I do a retching motion. I don't actually have anything come up, but the actual motion just helps me relieve all the tension in it. And everyone's like, you're going to throw up, Rinya.
I'm glad that it
I've been
helps
doing
you,
this
but
for
like
5 years. Not once in those 5 years have I ever thrown up.
one day.
One day I'll be on my deathbed and you guys will be peeking over like one day.
She always does it facing us as well. So if it does, she'll be like right at you as well. It's not, let me take a minute. She's like,
It's like the picture of the cat that goes,
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just having everyone say words of encouragement before going on stage, and just knowing that I'm doing this with the closest people in my life, and knowing that if I mess up, then they'll still love me, and that's.
Well, I don't know about that one.
you made one more mistake.
No, so just having that good, making sure you I think given being in the idol group, your members will be your friends and your family, but just having good members that encourage you and lift you up and support you before going on stage is very helpful for me.
Yeah.
Also recognize that not the same thing works for everyone.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, when I am having an anxiety moment, the best way for me to deal with it is to just throw myself in the deep end, so that I don't have time to be anxious. And that works great for me, but it's definitely not for everyone. So your mileage may vary. Probably go with Miss Alex's suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit in the same boat as Lolly there, where I don't get a lot of nervous energy before shows nowadays, unless there is something new that we're doing or something that I haven't done before that I'm specifically nervous about, because I'm scared I might mess it up. As far as being yourself goes, I have always been a what you see is what you get, take it or leave it kind of person.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that I've never really experienced anxiety about showing who I am on stage, because I'm always just this is what it is and there's nothing I can do about it. So
Yeah. That's a
That's
good way
it.
to put it, yeah.
But before going on stage, if I'm feeling nervous, I know I did get a little bit nervous before Revolt Revive last weekend, because that was just so much, and I found myself actually jumping up and down and moving around and moving a lot in the dressing room to try and channel some of that nervous energy into just movement and being, telling myself that I've been through my dances, I've been through my lyrics, I've practiced all my singing, I know what I'm doing and I'm going to kill it. Moving around and warming myself up, and basically also I'm here now. I'm in the dressing room and I'm about to go on stage, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Exactly.
So you just have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless anyone else wants to add something.
Nah.
Basically, Maho,
Be yourself.
be yourself, do your best. You're gonna feel nervous, unfortunately. It comes with the territory, but yeah.
People are gonna love you.
Shoot for
no
the
matter
stars.
There is inspirational posters that are just be yourself. As cringy as it is and as overdone as that trope is, it's honestly just
literally that.
There's something
Yeah.
endearing about authenticity.
Cool. Yeah. Next question.
Hang in there, baby.
And last
That's
question
my
for
password.
today
Our
is
next question is from Kendra Kaze.
whoa.
And he says, hello, my question is for all of you. What themed live would each of you like to do in the future and why? Rinya seems very keen about this one.
All right, so I have been dreaming of this for years, and I hope that I say years, it's been like a recent fixation, and I've even told Lolly that I will wear a fluffy skirt for it. So you've heard it from me, folks. I will do anything for this theme to come to life. It will come with costumes, so I either want a fruit theme, or more so than a fruit theme, a candy theme.
Is that like a live? Like, are we talking like a live?
Live
live
or
theme.
outfit, yeah. I mean, fruits theme, overall concept, fruit theme.
It's like a fruit themed live because the question specifically is what themed live?
I'm gonna talk.
Fruit salad live.
Yeah, but if it's like candy, it could be like a Valentine's Day
Yeah.
kind of. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be fixated on the love aspect of Valentine's Day, but more about the yum yum candy, yum yum yum. I want all the A-MUSE girls to go down the line and say which candy they would be for A-MUSE. I'm starting, and it would be White Rabbit because the Chinese milk a lolly White Rabbit, and I will be taking Lolly's brand from her.
So true.
Yeah.
I think a red lolly. I would be a strawberry cloud. Yeah, that's
it
yummy.
would be like a little fluffy.
Does the candy have to be our image colour?
You can answer both if you want. One for your image color, one for not.
Grape Hubba Bubba or grape Zappos.
Oh, you stole
What about you,
mine.
Kate?
So if I'm going colour, I would probably be a blue warhead. Because I love sour lollies. And if not, I would be a sherbet lemon.
Oh, cute.
I'm trying to think, because I don't like most yellow lollies, like bananas and stuff. Like, I do like lemon flavored things. A yellow Sour Patch Kid.
Cute.
Oh,
Or,
cute. Starburst.
Or like
Jelly
my personal
bean.
favorite candy, it would be a grape Zappo or a sour Coke bottle.
Jelly bean.
What about you, Pengi?
I think that, like my first thought was also strawberry cloud, but strawberry clouds are red and pink. So if not a strawberry cloud, I think I would be one of those strawberry Apollo chocolates. The ones that are like half like chocolate and then half strawberry. The
Yeah.
little try.
Yum, yum, yum,
Yeah,
yum.
I've tried them.
They're yummy.
Is that all your?
That's all my thoughts.
You could do a summer themed fruit live.
We could do a summer
Yeah.
themed fruit
Like
live.
red flavor, red velvet.
Basically,
We're
Rinya
all
doesn't
fruit.
care on the theme, she just wants to wear fruit costumes or
I
candy
do.
costumes.
I just think that it's cute. I think it's cute when you just like assign like an image to yourself and you're like, that's for me.
You're a bit fruity.
Yeah, I
This
think
is fruity.
the live that I'd like to do. AGS
If you
did
say
one.
vampires.
No, AGS did one where they kind of wore like masculine outfits and they did sexy like male songs. If we could do some like,
Danshi Day.
yeah, if we did like some like male idol songs. I've always wanted to do plus Danshi like as a song, as a dance. Crazy, but I would love to do like a masculine outfit kind of day. That would be really fun.
I've mentioned it not on the podcast, but I've mentioned it before as something I'd like to do, but some kind of like outdoor festival or live. Like not one where we're just like appearing at an event, but
What's
like
the
just
theme?
a complete No. The idea is it's a big outdoor.
Yeah, but
like,
what's the
It
theme?
doesn't have to be a theme. It's just outdoor live.
All right, cool.
The theme is that it's outside. It's-
That is nature.
That
It
is my
is
wish
boating,
list.
camping,
I really
fishing.
like the they used to do it every year for Keaki. They do the Keaki Republic lives every year, and to be fair, this is like a way bigger scale than what we would ever be able to do, I think. But like it takes place on Mount Fuji, and like the concert runs all day and into the evening, so you get this beautiful sunset. And like they set certain stages to be in the nighttime, and I think it's so fun.
It is a very cool show.
Yeah.
The theme is that we would get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
in the country, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even have to open
Beatles.
my mouth to know what that is. Not where I'm No, A-MUSE know exactly what I'm going to say. My dream live would be
Hadestown.
a Christmas live. Hadestown.
A Christmas live.
My dream
Hamilton
live would
live.
be
We've already done
just a group rendition of Hadestown. No, it would be a Christmas themed live show. That is my dream. I love Christmas. We could sing Snow Halation. We could wear silly little red.
The Mean
costumes.
Girls?
Yeah,
The Mean Girls.
We could wear silly little. We could dance to that one Mean Girls song. It would be a fucking hoot.
Yeah.
And that's what my dream life would be. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
My dream concept live is a color swap day. Like all the A-MUSE members to swap image colours and wear each other's costumes, except it can't happen because Pengi's skinny.
Pengi is like
Tiny.
So it's not even that I'm skinny necessarily. It is that my frame
Small.
is just
She is
ridiculously
so
little.
small. Like, yeah.
Not even
Little.
like in a joking way, she was just
Lidl.
she's just
Baby.
petite. Just a little
Like,
but
how do I put it? Like, if you put, for example, Pengi next to, especially one of us tall people, you can immediately notice just the inherently, like, the frame size is different.
I'm just built.
Did we want to go down the line and talk about which color we would like?
I didn't go yet.
Oh, I meant like for
for my
Alex's,
your
yeah.
line,
yeah, like
Does it have to be one of our existing colours?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would
Okay.
color swap day.
we have talked about this extensively before, but I would like to do blue because originally I did want to be blue idol, but I actually quite like being monochrome now. But I would like to try being blue.
Thank you
Yeah.
for letting me be blue.
Same story for me. I wanted to be yellow, but Alex really wanted to be yellow. So, but I also think I suit red quite well.
I would be happy. My first preference probably would be yellow, and then pink after. Actually, pink. Yeah,
Pink.
I think I would like to be purple.
Purple.
Yeah, purple or pink.
I'm also purple or pink.
I actually think purple or monochrome.
Ooh,
Wow.
yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I think other than yellow, purple is my second favourite colour.
I choose
No one wants to be red.
Yeah, me and Kate match up on so
I wouldn't
many
mind being
things
red.
together. It's
Red.
so
I could be
funny.
red also. Daya is red, so I was a red idol for quite a while also.
Yeah.
What's your idea, Pengi?
Yeah.
My dream live, actually, like themed live, has already been done.
It was
So it's
crossed
hard
with the
to-
Pengi live, but we need like a full Halloween live, I reckon.
I think if we talk about like crazy concepts of like no limits, no budget, do whatever you want, I would love to have like Halloween live to the next level basically. Like
Whoa.
it'd be a whole like haunted house and a big
Whoa.
stage and like
We would have
Have-
sexy zombie
have-
juncture like costumes.
yeah, maybe that like the attendees have to go through like a haunted house labyrinth to get
Other
into
tech boys, the
into
monsters,
home.
like the actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I
It'd
love
be
that.
so fun, yeah, because I was lucky enough that you guys indulged me in having a Halloween themed live. But I think like maybe a more gothic approach, so everybody would have like a really like a different gothic style kind of costume with their image color instead of the main costumes, even though the main costumes are really cute and
That's
I really
another
enjoyed them. Yeah.
Oh, made live.
Quietly made live.
Basically, yes, show but with haunted house.
Excellent. I guess that answers the questions.
Yeah, and I think that, maybe all of these lives will happen one day.
who knows?
Who knows? The world is our oyster.
So true, bestie.
They're kissing now. They're
Yeah, they
kissing.
are making out right
Enemies
now.
to lovers again.
And then love is back to enemies.
Oh, I love this woman.
Well,
Anyway, on that note, we'd best sign off. This has been super fun. I hope you enjoyed getting to hear more about our process when it comes to music, and we will catch you next month.
Yeah.
bye, Anara. Thank you, guys.
A-MUSE, thank you.